Guys, anyone? Is my screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, pa. So basic instruction session. Just know my name. I am Ganesh M from Face. Okay. I want three things in this session, pa. One is please be attentive. So I want your attention. Second one, please be responsive. So if I ask any question, please open up yourself and you can use the chat box also. And please be interactive. I am not your professor, class professor. I am just like you. I'm still learning a lot of things. I'm just a tutor. Okay. So just consider me as your friend and be interactive, guys. So I need these three things. Okay. So this session is all about some few advanced quants aptitude question. Okay, quantitative aptitude. So we are going to solve nearly 10 to 11 question. Okay, so 10 to 11 question. This all these questions not from specific topic. Okay, not specific, not under specific topic. These are all from different concept, and those have a different way of approach. Okay, so no problem if you don't know. This question may contain trigonometry questions, trigonometry concept, or number system concept. So likewise, this problem contains these concepts. Okay, so you don't worry if you don't know these things. We are going to see the each question with a step-by-step approach. So it will be very easy once I explain all the questions. Okay, so shall we move further? Shall we go to the solving part of all the questions? So if you are resolving this, just put Y in the chat box, everyone, or you can unmute yourself and answer yes. Everyone, just in the chat box. Guys, anyone? Okay. Thanks. I am seeing guys. Thank you. Okay. So let's move further. So let's solve the first question of today's session. Okay. So this is the first question. If x is some number, then x when divided by 70 leaves a remainder of what? We need to find among these options. Okay, what will be the remainder? That's what we need to find. So how we can approach this question? So let me write it separately. 17 cube plus 18 cube plus 19 cube. So when you see these kind of question which have form like this, a square plus b squared, or a cube plus b cube, we know expression for these formulas, right? So that is the approach we can go with this question, right? So for that we need to pair them up. We can pair them up like 16 plus 19 cube plus 17 cube plus 18 cube. So we can pair them like this, because the addition of them will give same answers, 35. Okay, that's why we are pairing them like this. So anyone tell me the formula for a cube plus b cube? Anyone? Okay, I will tell you, which is a plus b, a squared plus b squared minus a into b. So this is the formula. This is the key formula for this question. Okay, so we are going to apply the formula here. Nothing. 16 plus 19, 16 squared plus 19 squared minus 16 into 19. Then for for this bracket also. 17 plus 18, 17 square plus 18 square minus 17 into 18. So we have applied the formula. Now we know 35, 16 plus 19, 35. This 16 plus 17 plus 18, 35. So we don't need to solve these brackets. It is enough to find whether this bracket is odd or even. So how we can find it? So we can go with each numbers. Say if you are squaring 16, we will get a even number. So 6 into 6 will be 36. Last digit will be 6. So that is a even number. So if you are squaring 19, it will be a odd number. So if you are multiplying 6 and 9, the 6 into 9 will be 54. So that is a even number. Okay. So in the same way, 17 is a odd number. 17 square is a odd number. 18 square will be a even number. And multiplication of 17 and 18 will be a even. So minus even. Okay. So what we can do now? We can cancel even and here. So the both the brackets will be contains a odd number. Okay. So now we can take 35 as a common term, and if we add two odd terms like 3 plus 3 will be 6. Okay, it will always give a even number. Okay, even number. How we can write a even number? So even number we can express it like 2 into some number. Okay, even number always will be a multiple of 2. Okay, so we can write it like this: 35 into 2 into some number. So we can multiply 2 outside, so which will be 70n. So we have come to the conclusion x is equal to 70n. X is here. Okay, so what's the question now? Read it. Then x when divided by 70 leaves a remainder of. So this is the expression, last expression for 70 for x. So if you are dividing by 70, what will be a remainder? Answer. You can put it in the chat box also, or you can unmute yourself. What will be the remainder plus division?
0.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Paul. 0 will be the answer. So here n can be anything from 1 to infinity. Okay. So whatever number we are applying for n, it will be a multiple of 70. So if you are dividing it by 70, it will give us 0 remainder. So which is the answer. So any doubt in this? Any doubt in this method? Any doubt in this problem? Nice. Pranav, nice. 0 is the answer. You can use the chat box also. If no doubts, type n in the chat box. So if you have any doubt, you can type or repeat it. No. Everyone clear? No. Thank you. Everyone? Okay, shall we move further? Okay, I assume no doubts. So we can move further. Let's move to the next question. So this is next question. This is second question. So let me write it separately. Write the expression of r. 30 power 65, 29 power 65 divided by 30 power 64 plus 20 power 64. Okay, so what is the question? So r is some number. Which among the following will be the range of r? So we need to find the range of r among given options. Okay, so for this question, there's two methods. First method is a conventional method. We need to use a formula. So formula for this question will be a power, so expression of a power n minus b power n, which is expression of numerator. Okay, so for this the formula will be a minus b a power n minus 1 plus a power n minus 2 into b plus a power n minus 2 into b squared and so on up to b power n minus 1. So this is the expression. If you are applying it in the numerator, what will be the answer? So what will be the expression? 30 minus 29, then 30 power. So here a is 30, b is 29 and n is power. So it is clear, right? So 30 power n minus 1 will be 64 plus 30 power 63, which is n minus 2 into 29 plus and so on up to 29 power n minus 1, 64. Divided by, we can have the denominator as such, 30 power 64 plus 29 power 64. So from the equation itself, we come to the conclusion, the numerator will be, so this is numerator will be greater than denominator. So because which have lot of operation, lot of multiplication in it, and which is starting with, okay, so for this 30 minus 29 it will be 1 only, so we need to consider. So here also it is starting with 30 power 64. So the numerator has lot of additions than denominator. Okay, so numerator will be greater than denominator. So what will be the answer for this question? What will the range of r? If in a fraction numerator is greater than the denominator, denominator, what will be the answer? So it is 3 by 2. We will get 1 by. So the answer will be always greater than. So tell me what is the answer among these questions? Anyone? You can put it in the chat box also. Whether it is A, B, or C, or D. You can unmute yourself and tell me. Anyone?
D.
Nice. Thanks. So D is the answer. So this is one method. We are using this expression, by using this expression. So there is another method also, which is really a logical thinking. Logical thinking is enough to find the answer. So let me tell you what it is. Okay. Again, let me write it separately. 30 power 65 minus 29 power 65 divided by 30 power 64 plus 29 power 64. So by seeing the power itself, we come to the conclusion, which is 65 and 64. So I am saying numerator will be greater than denominator. So you can ask me like, sir, here it is minus, here it is plus. So how it is possible, sir? You can ask me like that. So let's consider with the smaller numbers, not 30 per 65. Let's take 3 and 2. Okay, 3 and 2. So let's write it in this way. 3 power 3 minus 2 power 3 divided by 3 power 2. So here it is 65 minus 60 minus 1, 64. So here 3 minus 1, 2. Okay, plus 2 power 2. Okay, so what will the answer for this? 27 minus 8 divided by 9 plus 4. So here it will be 9. In denominator it will be 30. So for this kind of small number also, in spite of the sign in the middle, the numerator is bigger than denominator. So imagine for this kind of big numbers. So automatically numerator will be greater than denominator. Okay, so answer is D. Any doubt on this? Any doubt in this question? Anyone? Shall we move further? If you have no doubt, we can move further. Put a Y in the chat box, or you can unmute yourself and ask your doubt, if there is any. Shall we move further? Are you guys listening or not? Nice. One Y is way more little.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, thanks. So we can move to the next question. So this is next question. Let me read the question. This is another kind of question. So as I said in the starting, each question is from different concept and different way of approach. Okay, consider the triangle shown in the figure where BC is 12, DB is 9. Okay, and CD is 6, and the angle BCD. So BCD is equal to angle BAC. BAC. So this angle. Okay, this is the condition that they have given. They want to find the ratio of perimeter for the triangles. Upper triangle is ADC and the lower triangle that is BDC. Okay, this is the question. So to find perimeter triangle, we need to add all the sides of the triangle. Okay, to find for this triangle, we need to add AD plus DC plus AC. We need to add this. So for lower triangle, we need to add BD plus DC plus CB. So we need to add like, okay. So this is what they've asked to find. So before that, we need to find this side AD and AC. All other sides are we already have in our hand. Okay. So how we can apply this question? For this question, we need to know what is the similarity rule for triangles. So let me tell you. So if you have two triangles like this, if the triangle has one common angle and one common side, we can say those two triangles are similar. Okay. So here the B is the angle, a common angle for the triangle DBC and triangle ABC. Right. For these two triangles, B is a common angle and BC is the common side. Are you agree it or not? Okay. So we can say these two triangles. So triangle number 1, triangle number 2. These two triangles are similar to each other. Okay. So how we can approach a similarity rule? So now we can write, one second. So here angle B is common angle and let's take the given condition, which is this two triangle number 2 and triangle number. Okay, so triangle BCD is similar to triangle BAC. So if two triangles are similar, we can write them like this, write the sides like this. How? BC divided by BA. This is first expression, BA, and equal to CD divided by AC, and then BD divided by BC. So for a similar triangles, we can write the sides like this. So this is a rule. This is a method. Okay. Any doubt so far in this question? So if no doubts, we can move further to for the solving part. Solving part is very easy if you understand this. So okay, let me tell you what's the solving part. So now we need to apply all the known values. So for BC we have 12. For BA we don't know BA, so we can have it as such. For CD, which is 6. For AC we don't know AC, so we can have it as such. Okay, then equal to BD equal to 6 and BC equal to 12. We can write them, we can separate them as pair. We can separate this pair and we can separate this pair like this. BA equal to 6 by AC. One pair, and 6 by AC equal to 6 by 12. This is one pair. Okay. So let me write. So let me write it here. So we know. So we can take this pair first. 6 by AC, 6 by 12. Okay. So what will be AC? AC will be 12. Okay. Wait a second. Did I miss some? Anyone found any mistakes? BC is 12. BA is unknown value, and CD is 6. Is okay. First pair is okay, and BD is 6. BC is 12. Okay, no problem. AC is 12 now. Okay, AC is 12, and we can apply this AC in this method, in this pair. Okay, 12 by BA is equal to 6 by 12, which is AC. What we can do now? We can cross this 2. So BA is equal to 24. BA is equal to 24. Sorry, I missed something. If anyone found any mistakes, mistake is here. So in all these places, it should be 9 because BD is 9. So here BD is 9. Okay. So if you cancel it, 3 by 3 divided by 4. So answer will be 16. Sorry, again it is. Let me write it clearly. Even the writing is confusing me. Sorry for this bad handwriting, guys. So let's solve it from the first. Let's take this pair divided by AC is equal to 9 divided by 12, which is 3, 4. If we cross this 2, here it will be 2. So AC is equal to, if we cross multiply, answer will be 8. Oh, this is the mistake. Okay, I got it now. 6 divided by AC is equal to, AC equal to 8. We found that. So let's take next pair. Let's take next pair, that is 12 divided by BA is equal to 60 divided by. We know AC is 8. Okay, so we can cancel it in this way, 4. So if we cancel 3 and 3, we will get so if we cross multiply, BA equal to 16, which is the correct answer. So we got BA equal to 16 and AC equal to 8. Okay, so if BA equal to 6 means what will be AD? What will be this part? So we know BD is 9. What will be AD? Someone let me know if you are following. Guys, so what will be AD?
5.
What? 5. Sorry. So here it is 9. So 16.
7.
Right. Thanks, Pa. So AD is 7. Okay. Now we got all sides. We can erase. I think we can erase everything in this side. So we can erase to this. Okay. So we have all the sides in our hand. So apply each and every value. So all the sides, we can add all the sides. 7 in this triangle, 7 plus 6 plus 8 divided by, in lower triangle, 9 plus 12 plus 6. So in here 7, 13 and 21, here it will be 27. So answer will be 7 by 9 if you are dividing it with 3 table. 7 by, okay, so option A is the answer. Any doubts in this? It's any doubt in this approach? How we are applying the similarity rule? How we are solving? Sorry, I made some mistake in solving part. So I think you would have done it before me. Okay. So any doubts? Shall we move further? If you have
Yes,
move
sir.
further and think. Thank you, thank you. Everyone, everyone, if you are listening, just put a Y in the chat box. Thank you, Sigra Noma. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm moving to the next question. So this is the first question today. So this question don't need any formula, or one method don't need formula, another method need formula. Let me tell you with the method which has no formula. Just a logical thinking is enough. Okay. So let me read the question. One flag, one red, three white flag, two blue flag are arranged in a line such that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need to arrange them in this line. Okay. So to arrange them, they have given two conditions. So let me read the conditions. No two adjacent flags are of same color. Okay. It means if you are placing a white flag here, the another white flag should not be near it. Should not be adjacent to it. Okay. So if you are placing blue here, the another blue should not be like this. So which is the wrong way. Okay, that's the first condition. Second condition, the flags at the ends are colors, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you are placing white here means the last position should not be white. Okay, it should be occupied with red or blue, either of the another color, remaining color. Okay, so this is the second condition. Following these conditions, we need to arrange these flags, these 6 flags. Okay, so let's start with how we can start. We can start with the white in the first place, white flag in first position. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you are placing a white flag here, another white flag will be here, another white flag will be here. There won't be place for remaining white flags. Okay, so the last place should be occupied with red or blue. Okay, we can place any of that. If you are placing B means another B will be here, another all will be here. So there will be another some other arrangements maybe. So with the white in the first place. Okay, whites are, we have arranged whites. So if you are placing blue here, we can interchange these places. So this is also possible, right? So here we can arrange white in the first place in another way also. So we can here arrange R here, first red flag here. Okay, which means blue will be here. So white in the first place, we have three possible arrangements. Okay, so what we can do now, we can have a blue flag in the first place, first position. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you are placing one blue here means now let me know where all the places we can place white. So last position should be occupied with red or white, which are all remaining other than blue. So if you are placing red here means we will be left with these 4 places. We cannot arrange white in these 4 places, which by satisfying the first condition. Okay, so which won't be a possible way. So we need to arrange white in the last place. Not place R here. Okay, which is the one to place all the whites. Okay, so then, so any doubts? Someone unmuted himself.
Sir, what is the second conditions?
Second condition,
Yes, sir. The flags and
the flag at the ends are two different color, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here means the last place should not be another white. We cannot place another white here, which is wrong. We can
okay,
place
okay.
red or blue. That is the
Yes,
only
sir.
possible way. Okay. Okay. So here with the blue in the first place, there can be another also. So we cannot move white and so we can interchange these places, this blue and red. So this is also possible. So with the blue in the first place, we got two possible arrangement here. So now the third case, the last case is red flag in the first place. Red first position. Okay, so if you are placing red in the first place, the last position should have white or blue. So we can only place white here only. Otherwise, we cannot fill all the white as I explained in this case. Okay, so only we have this possibility. So for red in the first place, we have only this arrangement. Okay, there is no other way. So we have one arrangement in the red with red in first place. So what are all the possible arrangements we have got now? The sum of all the possible arrangements. Someone say me, which is
Six.
nothing but correct. Thanks, Pa. Just 3 plus 2 plus 1, which is 6. That is the answer. So this is one method. So this method is also easy, and another method will be very simple, but you need to remember a concept. Shall I erase this? Shall I erase this? Any doubt in this? If you have no doubt, put N in the chat box. If you have doubt, you can ask me. Okay. I assume no doubts. So let me erase. Okay. Erase all things. Okay. So there is another method also. So we have white. So first we can arrange white and the possible way for white flags. Okay. So there will be only two arrangements for white because white has three flags, which is the highest number, and we can arrange white like this. So this is only two possible ways. These two only the possible way for arranging white. That's what we have seen in the first method also. So to find total possible, we need to use combination method, which is in the denominator we need to uh, write this one. Sorry, there will be another space. So what are the remaining places? Vacant places. We need to factorize that. We need to write a factorial for that, which is 3 factorial. Denominator, we need to write the factorials for the remaining flags, which is 2 factorial, which is blue flag, and 1 factorial. So we are saying we are using this for this arrangement only. For arrangement only. Okay. So what answer for this? 3 into 2, 2 into 1, which is one bracket. So we have one here. Cancel this. For this one arrangement, there will be three. If we need to arrange all other, we will have three arrangements in this one arrangement. So for this, if you are adding this arrangement also, there will be another 3. So 3 plus 3, answer will be 6. So this is another method. So this one is also easy, but you need to remember this concept. Remaining places will be in numerator, and remaining flags will be in denominator. Okay. To Let's move further. Let's move to the next question, which is question 5. So for this question is bit tricky, but very easy. You can at the same time you may get confused very easily. So let me tell you how. In the figure, AB is equal to BC is equal to CD is equal to DE is equal to EF is equal to FG. So it's going like this: AB, BC, and CD, and DE, and EF, and FG. So it's going like this. Okay, wow. So that's the condition that they have given. What we need to find then, angle DAE is approximately, we need to find angle of this triangle, this big triangle, angle for this triangle. For that we need to find 1, 2, 3, these three angles. If we know these three angles, we will find the answer. So to find that, to approach with this question, first you need to know two rules. The first rule is isosceles triangle rule. If you know what is isosceles triangle, that is the first rule. So in isosceles triangle, two sides will be equal and two base angles will be equal. If it is x, this also will be x. Okay, so this is the first rule. This is the isosceles triangle. Okay, so the second rule. So let me extend this line like this. This BC A. So this is D. So you need to find the exterior angle of this. You can add the two angles, the interior opposite angles. So we can add these two. If we need to find Z, let's say this is X and Y. Z will be the addition of X and Y. So this is another rule. You need to remember. You need to memorize this. Okay. This is basic concept in trigonometry. This two concept is clear? These two rules are clear? Okay. I assume you are clear. So let's move further. Let's go to the solving part. Let's take this angle as X at initial. Okay. So they set AB equal to BC. So what will be this angle by following the first rule? What will be? Nice. Thanks, Bob. It will be X. And let me know what will be this angle. What will be this? Sorry. What will be this angle? So by following the second rule. So this is the exterior angle to ABC triangle. Anyone?
Well,
Super. So here it will be 2 because we can add two opposite angles, X and X. Okay. And then we can find this angle also, because they said BC equal to CD. So these base angles will be equal. So it will be 2x. And we are finding this angle. The ultimate aim is to find all the angles bar. That's it. So we are finding this angle. What we can do? So in a triangle, the angles will be like x, 2x, 3x. So it won't go beyond that. Okay. So we can take this triangle. If you are adding this one, 2x and 2x for this exterior angle, it will go to for 4x. So we cannot do that. So we can this big triangle. Can you see this big triangle? So add base angles now, opposite base angles in this big triangle. So it will be 3x. So by adding x and 2x, it will be 3x. Clear? Okay. What we can do now? Any doubts, pa?
3x again.
Okay, pa. Okay, pa. I will. Nothing, pa. We are taking this triangle A D C, this big triangle, to find this angle, the angle C. So what we usually do by following the second rule, we will add these two angles, right? Opposite two angles, the corner angles. You can say whatever. So it will x plus 2x will be 3x. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Thanks, pa. Thanks, pa. Okay. So they said then what we can do, the DC CD or DC, we can say whatever. CD and DE is similar. CD is similar. So this angle will be 3x. Okay. Now what we can do? We can find this angle, because they said here, come here. G equal to GA. F G equal. Follow my marks, pa, so that you can understand. F equal to GA. So in this triangle, these two sides are same. Okay. So what will be this angle? So here it is x. So here it will be x again. Okay. Are you agreeing this? So we can, what we can do, this angle, we can find this angle now. So this is exterior for GAF. Okay, angle GAF. So it is, once I marked all the angles, it will look clumsy. That you need to follow my marks. So now I am here in G angle. So you can add this to x and x and this x. Okay. So if adding to this means this angle will be, what will be this?
2x.
Sorry, 2x. Nice. Two x is right. Okay. So we are left with this angle, and this angle. Okay. Now what we can do? So to find this angle, we have condition here. EF is equal to FG. So we know GF, which is FG, this is parallel to this EF. So this angle is 2x that we found recently. So this angle will be also 2x. Okay. Then to find this angle, we can take this big triangle. So let me draw it separately. So triangle, sorry, this is a triangle, pa. Forgive me. A, F, E. So this angle is x. Is 2x. We need to find this angle. So this angle will be the addition of two opposite angles, which is 3x, here. Clear? And then we know EF is equal to D, which is DE equal to EF. DE equal to EF. So these two are parallel. These two lines are parallel. So if here it is 3x, means the whole thing here it would be 3x. I think we got all the angles that we need here in triangle ADE. So here it is x, here it is 3x that we found recently. Here it is also fully 3x. So for a triangle, all angles will be equal to 180 degree if you add them. So we need to add them like all the three angles. So x plus 3x plus 3x 180 is equal to 7x. So x will be equal to 180 divided by 70, which is approximately equal to x equal to, what will be the answer?
25.
Nice, thanks for 25. Option D will be the answer. So any doubt in this? The method is just these two rules. So we will use in diverse in many places and we will find the answer. That's it. Any doubts? Any doubt in this question? If you followed my marker, you would have understood easily from the start to end. Okay. Shall we move further? If you have any doubts, you can ask me or put Y in the chat box. So we can move further. Move to the next question. Shall we move further? Nice. Thanks, Pranav. So I'm getting 2 or 3 response only. I don't know what about others. So okay. Means that's okay. Thank you. So let's move to the next question. So this question is also a bit tricky. Let's the question first. A farmer has decided to build a wire fence along one straight line of his property. So let's consider this is a straight line. So this is his property. Okay. For this, he planned to place several fence posts at 6-meter interval. He want to place several posts like this to cover his field. So the distance between them is 6 meter. Okay. Then, so with the post fixed at both ends are fixed. Okay. After he bought the post and wire to fence his land, he found that the number of he bought was 5 less than required. So if he is required 5 previously for this plan, for 6-meter apart plan, he would have need just consider he needed 25 previously. He only bought 20 minus 5. Okay. So let's see what is happening next. However, he discovered that the number of posts he had bought would be just sufficient if he spaced them 8-meter apart. Okay. So instead of 66-meter, he is placing the post 8-meter apart. Okay. So we need to find what is the length of the side of his property, what is the length of his property, and how many posts did he buy. So let's say x is the length, y is number of poles he bought. Okay. So are you guys clear with the question? Any doubts in the question and what's happening? Okay. I assume there is no doubts. So here how we can do it. There are two cases, right? First case is 8-meter apart distance. So this is first case. Second case is 6-meter apart, which is distance between the poles. Okay. Distance between the poles. 6-meter apart. So we have two cases. We need to find number of poles for both cases. Because we have two unknown variables. If you are solving two cases, we will have two equations. So we will find x and y, so that we can approach like this. Okay. So what we can do now? So to find number of poles, I am saying the expression is x by the distance between the poles plus 1 is equal to number of poles. So to understand this, just follow this case, an example case. Take this tabular column, which is 1, 2, 3, 4. let's say the distance between them is 25. The total distance is 25 and distance between each pole is 5. So if we divide whole distance, which is x, divided by 5, what we will get? We will get 5 with number of spaces between the poles. So to cover five spaces, how many posts we will need? Anyone answer me? To cover 5 spaces, how many poles we will need? How many posts? Anyone? Yeah, I think you said 6. 6, which is the number of poles for this case. So let's take 36. So distance between them is like this. Okay. So if we are dividing the total distance divided by number distance between them, if we add 1, what we will get? 7. So to cover 6 spaces, we will need 7 posts. So that's the case here. So let me erase these cases. So you understood this, understood right the case. So you will understand the equation now. How I formed this. Okay. So here the total distance is x. The distance between each pole, if we add 1 to them, we will get y. Y will be equal to x by 8 plus 1. So this is the first case. Similarly, the second case will be y is equal to x divided by plus 1. I am saying here a minus 5 will be there because he have 5 less than he required when he planned this case. When he planned 6 meter apart between each poles, the total poles he needed was less than 5. He got was less than is 5 less than required, right? So that's the given in the question. So we need to uh, reduce 5 from the total poles, so to get y in this case. Clear? Okay, so I am adding like this, x by 6 minus 4. So we have two equations now. So by solving it, we will get the answer. So we can write it y equal to x plus 8 divided by 8. Here y equal to x minus 24 divided by 6. So if you are class multiplying it, the equation will be in the last how it looks. X minus 8y is equal to minus 8. We can write it like this. This equation x minus 6y equal to plus 24. So at last the equation 1 and 2 will be like this if we are solving this. Okay, so hereafter you know the conventional method we use for all the solving. Here we will get 2y, here we will get minus 2y, here we will get minus 32. So y is equal to 60. So you guys solve and tell me what is x. Anyone? You can put it in the chat box also. What is x? Nothing but y in the equation number 1. 120. Nishit. So answer will be 120. So if you are applying here, which is 16, so x minus 8 into 16 is equal to minus 8. So x is equal to minus 8 plus 128. X is equal to 120. So answer will be option D. X is 120 and 16. Any doubt in this method? Doubt in the explanation? Shall we move further? If you have no doubt, put Y in the chat box, everyone. Shall we move further? Nishit, thanks Nishit. Thanks Nishit. Nishit, right? Nishit only. Thank you. So let's move to the next set of questions. So this question also no need any formula or a rule. This depends on understanding only. So anyone tell me how many faces will be in octagon? How many faces will be there in octagon?
8.
Nice, nice. So it is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So that's the given in the first point. So A and E are opposite vertices of octagon, which we can see it in the diagram. They're opposite vertices. So here we come to the main part of the question. A frog starts jumping from vertex to vertex, beginning from A. So a frog is start jumping from A, starts to jump from A. From any vertex of the octagon except E. So except E, it may jump to either of two adjacent vertices, which means it can jump from A to B or H, or it can jump from B to C or A. So it is the frog's decision, right? So that's this point. So then when it reaches E, the frog stops and stays there. It need to reach E from A. That's the question. So let's see what's they given next. Let N be the number of distinct paths. Exactly n jumps ending in E. Okay, which is nothing but A is the number of paths. Number of paths which the frog can follow with number of number of jumps. Number of jumps. Okay. So what they want us to find, then what is the value of a2n minus 1? So let's have it here by side. So I will tell you what at the last, what is this a2n minus 1? So a means number of paths. So a by n, the whole number means the number of paths. N represents number of jumps. Okay, the path means nothing. A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E. This is one path. Okay. Or it can go this way and it can oscillate like this. It can go to A to H and it can go again H to A. Then it can go back to H like that. So 1, 2, 3. It can go like this. 1, 2, 3. It can go like this. 1, 2, 3. It can go like this. Okay. So this is one path. So like that, they have represents the number of path in A by N, A base N. Okay. See 1, 2, 3, 4. So to the frog, to jump from A to E, it needs minimum of 4 jumps. 4 jump is minimum in the minimum path, shortest path. Okay. So see in this case, 1, 2, 3. So here it is 3 jumps. 1, 2, 3. Here it is 3 jumps. Here it is 3 jumps. Here it is 3 jumps. So in this case, it comes 3 plus 3 plus 3, 12. So now what we have inferred from this is the frog can jump from A to E in even number of jumps only. You can consider with whatever path, even jumps only. It can reach from A to E. You can draw whatever path you want. So it will be a even number only at the end. Okay. So which is 2n. So as I said in the first question, which is the even number representation is 2n. Okay, it can reach A to E in
Sir,
2n jumps only. Tell me, Pa, any doubts?
sir, what is this 3333?
3333. Okay, I will explain, Pa. Okay, so here it is going, the frog is going A to B, B to C. This is the direct path. It can go like this also. It can go from A to H first. Then it can go back, sorry, it can go back from H to A, and it can again come back to A to H. Okay, so this contains 3 jumps. So this is one path. But its aim is to reach E. Even if it goes 4 jumps or 6 jumps, even if it is going to 8 jumps, so the jumps will be only the even the at last it will be even number only. So here it will jump 3 times, here it will jump 3 times, here it will jump 3 times. Okay, understood, Pa? What is 333?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, it can jump 5 times also. Let me explain that also.
Yes, sir. Got it.
Nice. It can jump 5 times also. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It will be here. So here also 5, 5, 5. So in whatever path it follows, it will end in a number. So the representation will be A to N. That is for all the paths, the representation will be A to N to reach E. Otherwise, it cannot reach E at any time. So what they have asked here, 2n minus 1, which is a odd number of jumps. 2n minus 1 is a odd number, right? So 2n is a even number. If you minus 1 from that, it will be odd number. So you guys already know that. So odd number of jumps, can the frog reach from A? So which is not possible at all. So because what we infer here is, which is reaching only even jumps, in even jumps only. Okay, so in odd number of jumps, there is no path which can make the frog to the E. So the answer will be E. So there is no path with the answer of odd number of jump. So A 2n minus 1 is totally representing the path, right? So there is no path which can lead the frog to E in odd number of jumps. Clear? So we have used. Any doubts, Pa? Someone unmuted yourself.
No, sir. No doubt.
Nice. Thanks, Pa. So we have used no formula here, no rules here. Just only. That's it. Someone unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. What is the final question, sir? Like, when is the number of distinct paths to reach E? Then, like, what is A to N minus 1, sir?
Yeah,
What is
okay.
the actual question there?
Okay. What is it? AN. Here they gave given AN. So AN is number of paths. The whole term is number of paths.
Yes, sir.
Right. So
Yes.
so the frog can only jump in this path, this number of path only. So it is an even number. It can reach A to E only with this path. So even number of path.
Okay. Okay. They're asking like, in which path will the frog take odd number of jumps?
Yeah, that is the question. So they are just they asked what is the value of A to N. We need to consider like this. So it is number of path only.
Understood, sir. Understood. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. So everyone, if understood, put a Y in the chat box. We can move further. We can move to the next question. Pranav, thanks. So let's move to the next question. You can erase all the things. So this is next question. So consider an obtuse angled triangle. So let me know what is an obtuse angled triangle. Someone, what will be the angle of the triangle? Okay, let me tell you, it will be greater than 90. One angle of the triangle will be greater than 90. Let's take that is x. So if it is greater than 90 means it will look like this. So it will be greater than 90. So this is a angled triangle. Okay. So we have with consider an obtuse angle triangle with sides centimeter, 15 centimeter, x centimeter. If x is an integer, then how many such triangles exist? So x is only a integer. It is not decimal number. We cannot say it is 5.2 and all. So this is all wrong. X is only 5 in these two cases. Okay. So that is the when it is integer. Okay. So the x may have many numbers between a range. Let's say x is having range from 2 to 6, which is 3, 4, 5. So we have three different triangles. We can get three different triangles in this case. So I'm saying for example only. Okay. So that's what they asked us. How many different triangles will appear for x, for different value of x? For that we need to find the range of x. Okay, which means to find the range of x, we can apply inequality theorem. Inequality theorem means where we can use it in type of these cases. If we have one unknown side, so we cannot assign the sides to this triangle, right? We don't know x, so it can be less than 8, or it can be greater than 15, or it can be in between the value can. So we cannot assign them to the sides, to these three sides. So to find the range of x, the inequality theorem is take the bigger number, reduce it with a smaller number, less than x will be in the middle, then add both of them, which is the inequality theorem. Less than x, here it will be 23. So this is the range of x, which has 8, 9, 10 and so on up to 22. We cannot consider 7 and 23 because x is greater than 7 and less than 23. So these are all the possible values. Okay, so we have two cases now. Let me tell you what is the case. We have find x will be equal to 8 or greater than 8 or greater than 8. We have that. We can come to the conclusion the x is equal to 8 or greater than 8, so we don't need to compare both of them. But we have 15 here, which lies between 2 and 8. So x can be between anywhere between this range. So we need to compare 15 and x. So we have two cases here. X can be greater than 15, or x can be 15 can be greater than x, or x can be greater than 15. So in this case, let me assign it. So 8 is the smallest part that we know. 15 is the biggest number among these three, so we can assign it to the hypotenuse part. So we can assign x here. Okay, so for this triangle, Pythagoras, 8 squared plus x squared is less than 15 square. So this is the second, right? Square of greatest side is equal to square of other two sides. So we cannot equate this equation. Put the here because we have unknown value. Okay, so let's solve it. Here it will be 64 plus x less than 225. X squared will be less than 161. Okay, where we can find 12 squared will be 144. 13 squared will be 169. So 61 lies between 12 square and 13 square. So we can approximately take x is less than 13. Okay, so because 13 is nearer square root for 161, so we can take approximately x is less than 13. Clear? So this is first case. From this case, what we have found, so the x will be less than 13, which means, let's say here 13 is here. So what are all the values we are having before 13, which is 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We cannot consider 13 because x is less than 13. So we have 5 different values for x in this first case. 5 values, 5 possible values. Okay, similarly, apply assume 8 is less than x, so we can have like this. So if you are applying Pythagoras theorem here, 8 squared will be x, 8 squared plus big square 15 squared is less than x squared. So x squared will be greater than what is the answer? 64 plus 25, x squared will be greater than 289. So what is the square root for 289? Anyone knows that? Okay,
17.
nice. Thanks, Pa. So 17 will be the square root for 289. So in this case, x is greater than 17. So what are the values we have from 17 to, so range is 23, greater range is 23. So values are 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So these are all the values. Okay. So you found another 5 possible values. So 5 plus 5, answer will be 10. So we can get 10 different values for x. So we can get 10 different triangles. So see is that. Tell me that. So
Sir,
you are
why
going
we
to
are
say here, here itself we found the answer, right? Tell me that.
sir, why we are taking 15 as like greater than or less than x?
Because we don't know. So we found the range here, right? Are you clear up to this? We found the range. How we found the range?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we have values up to from 8 to 22. So x can be less than 15, which means 15 lies here. It can be greater than 15 or less than 15. So we don't know which is okay.
Okay, sir.
So we need to consider the cases. So we need to consider this case and also this case, and we need to find the possible values for both the cases, and we need to add those things, those values.
Clear.
Cool. Thank you. So 10 will be the answer. Anyone have any other doubts? You can put Y in the chat box. If you have no doubt, we can move further to the question. I think we have more questions. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Bob. So let's move to the next question. So this is another way of approach. This has another way of approach. You need to know combination rule for this. I'll tell you after that. After reading the question, the figure below shows the plan of a town. So from A to B, which is a plan of a town, blueprint or plan, we can say whatever. The streets are at right angles to each other. The streets are at right angle to each other. So we know that by seeing the picture itself. A rectangular park situated inside the town with a diagonal road running through it. So OQ will be the P will be the park, and it's a straight diagonal road inside it. There is also a prohibited region D in the town. So here, this is a prohibited region. We consider this in this formula. So what is the main case? Neelam is a girl, rides her bike from her house at A. Her house is here in A to her office at B. Her office is here. Taking the shortest path, then the number of possible shortest path that she can choose. We need to find number of shortest paths in this question. So this path will be, so if it is a straight road, not a, so consider it is not a right angled street, it is a straight road. This will be the path, right? Okay, but unfortunately they have given like a row and column thing. So if they given questions like they gave a grid and they want us to go from here to here, we need to find combination rule. Okay, so now I will tell you what's the formula that we required for this formula. Required for this sum. So which is NCR is equal to n factorial divided by r factorial and n minus r factorial. This is the formula we need. You may seen this formula previously in your school levels or in your college levels. So here in this question, n is number of rows plus number of columns, and R represents number of rows only. So this is the formula, this is the representations for this question. Okay, so we need to, let me write it here. Now we need to reach E to O from here to here. So what's the number of row and number of column for this case? Someone tell me number of rows and number of columns. You can put it in the chat box. Unmute yourself and tell. From A to O. From A to O. Number of columns and number of rows. Anyone?
2 and 2, sir.
Thanks, Pa. So number of rows and number of columns are 2 and 2. Okay. So we can apply it in the formula. That's it. So for n is the addition of rows and columns, right? So n will be 4, C 2. So 4 factorial divided by r factorial is 2 factorial into n minus r will be 4 minus 2, which will be 2 factorial. So 4 into 3 into 2 divided by 2 into 2. So if we cancel this, we will end up with 6. Okay. So let me erase this thing. Let me erase this formula because we know that now. So A to O, the distance is 6, right? Is anyone feels I am being too loud? Anyone want me to reduce the volume of myself? Anyone feels like that? You can put Y in the chat box if you feels like that. No, okay. I can keep this volume as it is. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, Pranav. Okay, so we found A to O. So this case is for A to O. A to O, which is the distance is 6. So from O to Q, this is a straight road. We need to use the combination rule here because which is a straight road, she can go like this in the straight way. So the answer will be 1 for this O to Q. We don't need to apply the rule here. Similarly, the same formula for Q and B. So Q to B. So how many rows are here? So let me tell me what is N. So N is addition of rows and columns. What is N for this case? What is the case? Q to B. What is N? Anyone?
Sir, n is the sum of rows and columns, or is it multiplication of rows and columns? Sir?
I said addition, which is sum of rows and column.
6.
Yeah,
Sir.
thanks, Ma. Yeah, addition, sum of rows and columns.
Okay. Sir.
Okay. So 6 is right answer. Thanks, Pa. And number of rows are 2 in this case also. So 1, 2, number of rows. Okay, so like that we can apply it in the formula. N factorial will be 6 factorial divided by 2 factorial into 6 minus 2 will be 4 factorial here. So 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2. So we can reduce, we can cross 4 factorial from the factorial. So I'm writing it for your understanding only. 4, 3, 2. So answer will be 15. Any doubt, Pa? Someone unmuting yourself. Q to B. So Q to B will be 15. So now we need to multiply all the cases. That's it. So A to O into O to Q in Q to B. Okay. Which will be 6 into 1 into 15. What's the answer? Someone tell me.
Yeah. D.
D. Yeah. 90 is the answer. So 90 number of shortest way is there to the Neelam from A to B. Okay. Any doubts in this? If you have no doubts, you can put Y in the chat box. If you have doubts, you can ask me. Thanks for Pranav. Others? Thanks, Vemu. Vemu Nikhil. Okay, as in no doubts, so let's move further. So this question also don't need any rule
Sir, one doubt.
or tell me,
Sir,
Pa.
can you go back, please?
I came.
Sir, here we didn't go to the left corner, left down corner of the park, no, sir.
Which means I'm not sure, Pa. What are you asking?
Park
Let
is
me
there. No,
erase. Yeah, let me erase these things. Okay, park is there, which is O2Q.
yes, sir. Instead of that, okay, understood, sir. So that OQ is the shortest path, no, sir. Okay.
Yeah, OQ is the shortest path. We need to
Okay,
find
I
number
thought
of
we can
shortest
go
path
from.
only.
Okay,
So
sir.
you like this in way, like this. You thought like this in way.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, which is not possible because OQ is the shortest way among other paths. So we need to consider that only from O to Q. Okay, so that's the case. Any other doubts, Pa? So no doubts. So let's move to this question. Question number 4. Question 4 in second case, second set of questions. Okay. 3 Englishmen and 3 Frenchmen working for the same company. Each of them knows a secret not known to others. Okay. They need to exchange these secrets over person to person phone calls so that eventually each person knows all 6 secrets. None of the Frenchmen knows English and only one Englishman knows French. What is the minimum number of phone calls needed for the above purpose? To exchange all the secrets. That's the purpose. Right. So let's consider there is 3 Englishmen. So let's say they are E1, E2, E3. And 3 Frenchmen, they are F1, F2, F3. So in this question also we don't need to know any formulas or rules and all. Just a logical thinking only. Okay. So here they have given one Englishman only knows both the language. So let's consider this E1. So E1 is a bilingual guy. Bilingual means he knows both English and French. So see, he is the only bridge to transfer all the secrets from English, all the Englishmen to Frenchmen, and get all the secrets from Frenchmen to Englishmen. He is the only bridge between these men. Can you understand, right? Because he only knows French and English. So before so let's consider he is speaking with F1. Before we make this call, we need to make sure E1 knows all the secrets is men's and all the secrets of E2 and E3, and F1 knows all the secrets of F2 and F3, so that in this call they can exchange all the 6 secrets. Okay, so for this purpose, what we can do first, we can make the call between E2 and E3, call of E2 and E3 with the E1 first. Okay, E1 first. Now we made 2, and eventually E1 knows all the secrets of Englishmen. Can you understand? Any doubt in this? Up to this?
No, sir.
Anyone? Okay, thank you. I hope everyone is clear. And similarly, in the French side also, we need to make call F2 to F1 first, F3 to F1 first, so that 2 calls here also, so that F1 knows all the secrets of Frenchmen. Now we can make this call. So this is the one important call. So this is one call now we made. Okay, this is one call. Now E1 knows all the secrets and F1 knows all the secrets of all the 6 secrets. Okay, E1 and F1. So now we can let others know. E1 feels to let others know. So he is calling E2 and transferring all the secrets, and E1 calling E3, transferring all the secrets. Here we made 2 calls, and F1 calling F2 and F3. F3, we made 2 calls. Okay, so totally how many calls we made? Someone tell me the answer. Tell pa. Someone unmuted yourself. You can put it in the chat box also. Yeah, 9 is the answer. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. Okay, so 9 is the minimum number of phone calls we can make to transfer all the secrets between these men. Okay, clear. Shall we move to the next question? If everyone is clear, put Y in the chat box. So let's move to the last question. Yes. Okay. Nishit. Okay. Thanks, ma. Let's move to the last question. So this is the man. So before reading the question, let me know the relationship formula for speed, distance, and time. So let me know the formula of these 3 relations. Anyone?
Speed equal to distance by time.
Nice. So this is very simple. Sorry to ask you this. Okay. So may I rest this? Okay. This formula plays the important role in this question. Okay, that's it. Very simple question. So now we can read the question. Man travels 3/5 of the distance of AB. So in the first case, let's say this is A, this is B. So let's take the whole distance as X. Okay, we don't know the whole distance, so we can take it as X. So a man travels 3/5 of the distance AB at the speed of 3a. So let's say this is 3/5 of the distance. So 3/5, 3 by 5. So whole distance is 3/5 of the distance will be 3x by 5. Okay. 3a speed. Okay, and the remaining speed remaining at the 2b. The remaining will be 2x by 5 speed of 2x. Okay, so we have 3x and 2x distance. We have separated it. This is the first case. And let me read the second case. And this is the second case here. So if he goes from A to B and back, this is one important word, one important key lead. So if he goes from A to B and back at a speed of 5c, whole transportation is happening in 5c speed in the same time. This same time represents both the cases. So case 1 and case 2, because there is no full stop between the sentence. So they have continued the second case with the comma. So the time represents both the cases. Okay, so this is the two cases. So time is constant, so we can rewrite the formula like this. Okay, so that we can equate both the equations, both the cases with the time. Okay, so nothing, we are going to apply the formula here. We have two parts in the first case, part 1 and part 2. So in part 1, let's consider t1 is 1, time is t1, sorry. So distance will be 3x divided by 5 in denominator. So we don't need to put separately and all. So in denominator, speed, what is the speed bar first, which is 3a. Okay, so we can cancel 3 and 3, x by 5a, t1. So second part, first case, second part. Okay, so time is t2 is equal to, distance will be 2x divided by 5, and speed, what is the speed? 2 bar. The speed is b. Here they are given 2b, speed is 2b. Okay, so speed is 2. You can cancel it like this. Okay, divided by 5b, which is t2. So total time for the first case will be t1 plus t2. So if you add these two, so t will be x by 5a plus x by 5b. So which is the total time for case 1. Okay, so for case 2, similarly, the distance, so what we took, the distance between a to b. So if a to b is x, so on b to a will be another x. So he is going a to b covered x distance, and b to a he covered 2x distance. So total distance for this transportation will be 2x. So we can have 2x in the numerator, and denominator speed is 5c. So we got the equation for second case. For both the cases, time is constant. So now we can equate them. So if we are equating like this, so what is the answer? When you're writing the equation, tell me the answer. You would have find it.
C.
Yes, this is the answer, because we can take 5 as common letter, common digit, and cancel it. We can cancel x eventually. So answer will be 1 by a plus 1 by b equal to 2 by c. So this is a school level formula, a school level question. You would have solve these kind of question in the school also, school itself. Okay. Any doubts, guys, in this question? S is equal to d by d. I didn't see this Pranav. So formula is correct. Answer is C. That's correct. Pranav. Any doubt in this question? If unclear, put Y in the chat box. Everyone. So there are 6 participants in the session. I'm getting only 3 or 4 response only. So everyone please put Y in the chat box. This is the last question. I'm not going to make you sleep hereafter. Okay. Yes. Angunur, yes. Okay. Madhusudan. Thank you. Pa. So this is the last question. So any doubts in the previous questions? Any doubt in the previous questions? So we saw 11 questions today. All are advanced level questions, pa. So TCS exams will be with these questions. There will be at least one question from each of this question. So each question have each concept, right? 11 question based on each concept. So if you understood these 11 questions, you can easily attend these question in the exams. Question from based on these concepts. Okay. So okay, shall we wind up the session? So don't leave, pa. Please don't leave. You need to fill a form. You have seen in the previous class, if you attended anything, you need to fill a feedback form. That is must. Okay. For 2 minutes, I will share the link for feedback form. Okay. Give me a second. Okay. This is the link for feedback. I had it in chat box. So you need to fill it. The form will be open for 15 minutes, another 15 or 20 minutes. You need to fill it before that. Okay. So please don't leave before you filling it.
Sir, it's not
Sir, it's not
open
opening, sir.
for me.
But it's saying that.
Okay. Wait a second. Sorry. So try now. Sorry, try now. Is it open now? Someone acknowledge the chat or the mic.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Paul. So you can fill it. If you finished with the filling of the form, you can leave the meet. So this is the end of the session. So
Sir,
don't
yes,
leave.
name?
So I said in the
sir, yes,
in
sir,
the
it's
start itself.
Ganesh M, but the spelling.
Yeah. Okay, I put in the chat box, pa. No problem. That is my name, pa. Ganesh M. So please don't leave the meet without filling the form. Please, guys. So if you done with filling, you can acknowledge it in the chat box and you can leave the meet.
We can leave.
Yeah, you can leave by if you fill the form.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, pa. Okay. Everyone, thank you. Okay. Thank you.